Hello everyone, Fairtime here, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. This is the 4th episode of my playthrough for this title. Previously, we saw the strategic meeting for the upcoming offensive against the Darkspawn at the Fortress of Ostagar. King Cailan and Teyrn Loghain seemed to be at odds, especially when it came to trusting the Grey Wardens, leaving Loghain visibly resentful of Cailan's leadership. Much to the chagrin of Alistair, he and the new Grey Warden were sent to do a seemingly menial task during the battle. They were to light the tower beacon, which would signal Teyrn Loghain's forces to charge in from the flank, surprise the Darkspawn, and assumedly win the battle. The Wardens valiantly fought their way up the tower, clashing with numerous Darkspawn along the way, including the fearsome Ogre. After securing the tower, the Wardens proceeded to light the beacon. However, a victory was not set to happen this day. Loghain betrayed the Wardens and the King's forces and called for his forces to retreat rather than attack the Darkspawn. The scene below in the main battleground of Ostagar was a massacre, claiming the lives of the Grey Warden Duncan and of King Cailan. Meanwhile, the Wardens atop the tower were ambushed by a group of Darkspawn, only to be suddenly rescued by the Witch Morrigan and specifically her shape-shifting mother. Now, recovering in the care of Morrigan and her mother, Alistair and the new Grey Warden must regroup and assess not only how to deal with the impending Darkspawn threat, but how to deal with the traitorous Loghain as well. Alright everyone, here we are, back into the fray with Dragon Age Origins. Before we actually get into the gameplay here, I wanted to make a few quick announcements, but if you're not interested in those, feel free to click on the annotation on screen or skip to the timestamp that's there as well. So first off, I should have some new Project Legions footage soon. I'm putting the last touches on the main system for the character creator itself. I don't have all of the customization options in, but the system itself is almost done, so look out for that in the near future. On the subject of Dragon Age Origins, this is going to be the first in a sequence of new episodes where we explore one major area. This is where the game kind of opens up, so there's not a whole lot of logical places to stop, so I'll be stopping a lot more abruptly in these episodes. I might not even be doing an actual outro, I might just cut it off somewhere in the middle. But on that note, when episodes like this occur, I won't be doing the intro sequence with all the previous footage in it, you know, the previously on Dragon Age Origins thing. I'll only do that when I begin a sort of new sequence of episodes, or there's been a lot of time between the episodes that I've made. But speaking of sequences of episodes, also in the near future, we're going to be gaining a lot of new party members that persist with us throughout the entire game. They have a lot of dialogue that highlights the main themes of the game, and we'll see that in the mainline episodes. In fact, one of the main reasons that people play these BioWare games is the characters themselves. So of course we're going to be interacting with them a lot in the main episodes. But they also have a lot of dialogue that's just meant for world building, and that doesn't really directly relate to the game's main themes, motifs, or plot. I'm specifically thinking of one character that has a lot of sort of interesting side stories that she tells that don't do a whole lot for the purposes of this playthrough. So I'll just be doing a sort of mini-series within the playthrough series, and that'll just be where I go to the camp area and go through these dialogue options with each character. So that will be there if you want to see some more with the characters, but in terms of the plot and everything, it's somewhat inconsequential. But we won't be doing any of that until we actually get access to the camp area. For right now, let's just get into the game here. As we know from last time, Alistair should probably be outside, waiting to see if I've truly survived the Darkspawn ambush after Loghain's betrayal. Let's see what he has to say.
See, here is your fellow Grey Warden. You worry too much, young man.
You're alive. I thought you were dead for sure.
Really appreciate you having some faith in me, Alistair, but as you can see, I'm not dead, and it's all thanks to Morrigan's mother here.
Oh, this doesn't seem real. If it weren't for Morrigan's mother, we'd be dead on top of that tower.
Do not talk about me as if I am not present, lad.
I didn't mean... But what do we call you? You've never told us your name?
Names are pretty, but useless. The chastened folk call me Flemeth. I suppose it will do.
The Flemeth? From the legends? Daveth was right. You're the Witch of the Wilds, aren't you?
And what does that mean? I know a bit of magic, and it has served you both well, has it not?
Huh. That much is true. But why did you save us anyway?
Well, we cannot have all the Grey Wardens dying at once, can we? Someone has to deal with these dark spawn. It has always been the Grey Warden's duty to unite the lands against the Blight. Or did that change when I wasn't looking?
It changed when most of them were slaughtered by the Darkspawn. We're all but helpless now.
If you think small numbers make you helpless, you are already defeated.
But we were fighting the Darkspawn. The king had nearly defeated them. Why would Loghain do this?
Now that is a good question. Men's hearts hold shadows darker than any tainted creature. Perhaps he believes the Blight is an army he can outmaneuver. Perhaps he does not see that the evil behind it is the true threat.
The Archdemon.
Look, Alistair is the real Grey Warden here. He knows more about the Archdemon than I ever could.
All Grey Wardens in Ferelden are gone. Except for us. I've lost everyone. For the love of the Maker, don't back out on me now.
I just lost my family too, Alistair. Trust me, I know how you feel.
Then we have to do something. I won't let their deaths be in vain. But I can't do anything on my own.
You're right. Then we just need to find this Archdemon.
By ourselves? No Grey Warden has ever defeated a Blight without the army of a half-dozen nations at his back. Not to mention... I don't know how.
How to kill the Archdemon, or how to raise an army? It seems to me those are two different questions, Have the Wardens no allies these days?
I don't know. Duncan said that the Grey Wardens of Orlais had been called, and Arl Eamon would never stand for this, surely.
Arl Eamon? You mean the Arl of Redcliffe?
I suppose. Arl Eamon wasn't at Ostagar. He still has all his men. And he was Cailan's uncle. I know him. He's a good man, respected in the Landsmeet. Of course, we could go to Redcliffe and appeal to him for help.
But that's just one guy with a small army. There's gotta be someone else we can call upon.
Of course! The treaties! Grey Wardens can demand aid from dwarves, elves, mages, and other places. They're obligated to help us during a blight.
I may be old, but dwarves, elves, mages, this Arl Eamon, and who knows what else. This sounds like an army to me.
So can we do this? Go to Redcliffe and these other places and build an army?
He may be right. In the episode before last, we found one of the ancient Warden treaties in the forest, where we met Morrigan. Flemeth was actually protecting the treaties for us. She seems to have more invested in this blight than most. She seems to really want the Grey Wardens to succeed. But I doubt it will be as easy as that.
And when is it ever?
It's always been the Grey Warden's duty to stand against the blight. And right now, we're the Grey Wardens.
So you are set then, ready to be Grey Wardens.
At this point, there's no way we could be more ready.
Now, before you go, there is yet one more thing I can offer you.
The stew is bubbling, Mother dear. Shall we have 2 guests for the eve, or none?
The Grey Wardens are leaving shortly, girl. And you will be joining them.
Such a shame. What?
You heard me, girl. The last time I looked, you had ears.
Well, thanks for the offer, but if she doesn't want to come with us, she doesn't really have to, right?
Her magic will be useful. Even better, she knows the wilds and how to get past the Horde.
Have I no say in this?
You have been itching to get out of the wilds for years. Here is your chance. As for you, Wardens, consider this repayment for your lives.
Well, fine, but was this your idea all along? To get rid of your daughter?
Pardon me, but I had the impression that you two needed assistance, whatever the form.
Not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but won't this add to our problems? Out of the wilds, she's an apostate.
If you do not wish help from us illegal mages, young man, perhaps I should have left you on that tower.
Point taken.
Mother, this is not how I wanted this. I'm not even ready.
You must be ready. Alone, these two must unite Ferelden against the Darkspawn. They need you, Morrigan. Without you, they will surely fail, and all will perish under the Blight. Even I.
I understand.
And you, Wardens. Do you understand? I give you that which I value above all in this world. I do this because you must succeed.
So here I'd like to point out the dynamic of the relationship between Flemeth and Morrigan. We have Morrigan seeming to use language that evokes respect from her to Flemeth, but with Flemeth speaking, we seem to have a real mother-daughter dynamic, where Flemeth values Morrigan, and she's only really giving her over because it's really that desperate of a situation. However, wait and watch how different Morrigan talks about her mother when her mother isn't physically there. As for right now, she won't come to harm with us.
Allow me to get my things, if you please. I am at your disposal, Grey Wardens. I suggest a village north of the Wilds as our first destination. 'Tis not far, and you will find much you need there. Or, if you prefer, I shall simply be your silent guide. The choice is yours.
Actually, I'd prefer if you speak your mind.
You will regret saying that.
Dear sweet mother, you are so kind to cast me out like this. How fondly I shall remember this moment.
Well, I always said, if you want something done, do it yourself. Or hear about it for a decade or two afterwards.
Do you really want to take her along because her mother says so?
I mean, we need all the help we can get.
I guess you're right. The Grey Wardens have always taken allies where they could find them.
I am so pleased to have your approval.
Before we go, I have a few questions.
I may have answers. Ask.
Have you ever been outside the wilds?
From time to time, I have been to the village I mentioned, watched its people, and pondered what curious beings they are. On occasion, I purchased goods from the village merchants. There I spoke with men a little. There they stared and knew me as an outsider. Mother wishes for me to expand the horizon of my experience beyond the wilds. Even she was not born here.
Right, but is that actually what you want?
What I want is to see mountains. I wish to witness the ocean and step into its waters. I want to experience a city rather than see it in my mind. So, yes, this is what I want. Actually, leaving is harder than I thought, however. Perhaps Mother is right. It must simply be done quickly.
Well, let's get to it then. Tell me about this village in the north. Where exactly are you leading us?
'Tis a small place of little consequence called Lothering. No more than a stop along your Imperial Highway where travellers purchase goods from local farms and smiths. I would go more often were it not for the town's chantry. It makes the village particularly intolerant and unpleasant for a stranger such as me.
A chantry? And they never in all this time thought that maybe you were a witch?
Of course they have. They even called out their Templars once. They found nothing.
So just to give what she's saying some context, I think I mentioned this earlier, but the Chantry is sort of the church of this world, and currently the Templars and the mages are sort of at odds. The mages are kept in the Circle of Magi. I don't want to spoil too much on them because we're going to see them in person later, but that's where they're sort of contained to keep them under control. The Templars were originally apostate hunters. They hunted mages that were outside of the Circle, and the Templars are controlled by the Chantry. And that sort of relates to Alistair's backstory and even a character in the third game's backstory. So we'll get more to that when we talk to Alistair. But for right now, I actually don't have any more questions. Let's just get underway. We should probably head to that town in the north, like you said.
Farewell, Mother. Do not forget the stew on the fire. I would hate to return to a burned-down hut.
Bah! 'Tis far more likely you will return to see this entire area, along with my hut, swallowed up by the Blight.
All I meant was...
Yes, I know. Do try to have fun, dear.
So once again, it's really strange how Morrigan and Flemeth treat each other. We had Morrigan sort of being snarky with her mother there for a second, but at the same time, Morrigan seemed to be regretful of leaving. Alright, so this here is the world map. As you can see on the map, we have all of these different icons, and each of these represents its own big area. They're all fairly large, and they each have their own sub-areas that we'll have to go into. And eventually we will have to visit all of these different icons. For example, we'll have to go to the Frostback Mountains to meet with the dwarves. We'll have to go to the Circle Tower, the Circle of Magi via Lake Calenhad. Then we'll have to go all the way over to Redcliffe Castle through the Redcliffe Village. That is the start of a bit of an annoying quest, so that should be interesting, to say the least. But then we'll actually have to go over to the Brisilian outskirts. That's where the Dalish elves are encamped. And then up here we have Denerim, which is sort of the big city. But first things first, we are going to have to go to this city here called Lothering, which is where Morrigan's going to lead us. Our expedition, as you can see, is marked by a trail of blood, that visual motif making yet another appearance here.
And I expect each of you to supply these men. We must rebuild what was lost at Ostagar, and quickly. There are those who would take advantage of our weakened state if we let them. We must defeat this Darkspawn incursion, but we must do so sensibly and without hesitation.
Your lordship, if I might speak. You have declared yourself Queen Anora's regent, and claim we must unite under your banner for our own good. But what of the army lost at Ostagar? Your withdrawal was most fortuitous.
Everything I have done has been to secure Ferelden's independence. I have not shirked my duty to the throne, and neither will any of you!
The Banorn will not bow to you simply because you demand it.
Understand this. I will brook no threat to this nation from you or anyone.
Bantegan, please!
Your Majesty, your father risks civil war. If Eamon were here...
Bantegan, my father is doing what is best.
Did he also do what was best for your husband, Your Majesty?
Wake up, gentlemen. More travelers to attend to. I'd guess that fellow is the leader.
They don't look much like them others, you know. Maybe we should just let these ones pass.
Nonsense. Greetings, travelers.
Highwaymen, preying on those fleeing the Darkspawn, I suppose.
They are fools to get in our way. I say, teach them a lesson.
Now, is that any way to greet someone? A simple 10 silvers, and you're free to move on.
You should listen to your friend, but we're not exactly refugees.
What did I tell you? No wagons, and this one looks armed.
The toll applies to everyone, Honric. That's why it's a toll, and not, say, a refugee tax.
Oh, right. Even if you're no refugee, you still gotta pay.
You seem a little bit slow, so I'll spell it out for you. I am not paying you a single cent.
Well, I can't say I'm pleased to hear that. We have rules, you know.
Right. We get to ransack your corpse then. Those are the rules.
Listen to me, did you wake up planning on dying today? Look, I'll have you know that I'm a Grey Warden. I've been in several battles, I am highly trained, I'm one of the greatest warriors in the entire
Did he
nation.
say he's a Grey Warden? Them ones killed the king.
Traitors to Ferelden, I hear. Teyrn Loghain put quite a bounty on any who are found.
Oh, jeez.
But are them Grey Wardens good? I mean, really good? Good enough to kill a king?
You have a point. Well, let's forget about the toll. We'll just leave you to your darkspawn fighting, king-killing ways.
Yeah, why don't we add bandit slaying to that list? Because if you haven't guessed, I don't like you.
And just when we had things settled. Now let's all right, we
Nothing
surrender.
like a brush with death to make
We're
you
just trying to get by.
not like death
before the
much.
darkspawn get us all.
No, you're just a dirty criminal.
Yes, I'm a criminal. I admit it. I apologize.
Yeah, that's not really gonna fly with me. I've changed my mind. You know what? I'm turning you into the authorities.
There aren't any. Just the Templars, and they'll execute me.
Then you better start running. And you better not come back.
Bless you. The Darkspawn can have this place.
That's right, you better run. Some people these days. No decency. Huh. Looks like they killed the Templar, though. Lock it in a note. Let's see what it has to say. This crumpled note is written by Sir Henrik, a knight of Redcliffe. Rest in peace, Sir Henrik. It's too bad you were killed by a bunch of buffoons that didn't know what they were doing.
Well, there it is. Lothering. Pretty as a painting.
Ah, so you have finally decided to rejoin us, have you? Falling on your blade in grief seemed like too much trouble, I take it.
Is my being upset so hard to understand? Have you never lost someone important to you? Just what would you do if your mother died?
Before or after I stopped laughing.
Right, very creepy. Forget I asked.
There's more evidence of that sort of dynamic relationship between Morrigan and Flemeth, where Flemeth isn't really respected by Morrigan when she's not actually there. But for now, Alistair, just get to the point, please.
Anyway, I thought we should talk about where we intend to go first.
I mean, I would look for Fergus, but he's probably dead at this point. If the Darkspawn killed the Grey Wardens, there's no way my brother could have survived as well. It's probably best to move on at this point. In that case, we should probably try to use these Grey Warden treaties then.
I agree. Have you looked at them?
Well, no.
There are three main groups that we have treaties for. The Dalish Elves, the Dwarves of Orzammar, and the Circle of Magi. I also still think that Arl Eamon is our best bet for help. We might even want to go to him first.
Well, Morgan, what do you think we should do?
Go after your enemy directly. Find this man Loghain and kill him. The rest of this business with the treaties can then be done in safety.
Yes, he certainly wouldn't see that coming, and it's not like he has the advantage of an army and experience and...
I was asked for my opinion and I gave it. If your wish is to come up with reasons why something cannot be done, we will stand here until the Darkspawn are upon us.
Well, you both have very valid points, but Wait a minute. Alistair, I literally became a Grey Warden yesterday. Don't you think you're a little bit more experienced and more qualified to make this decision?
Well, I don't know where we should go. I'll do whatever you decide.
Now that is unsurprising.
Arl Eamon is a good man, but I don't know for sure he's where we should go. I'm not going to fight about it.
Psst. Typical man. Always making other men make the decision. Anyway, I'm ready to get going. We'll figure out where we're going later.
Fair enough. Let's head into the village whenever you're ready.
Alright, so let me tell you, there's actually a bit of an atypical situation with Lothering. So, as we get into the village, let me actually just stop here for a second. Basically, the village is full up with people right now, and it's not really suited to be filled with people. So here on the world map, you can see where Ostagar and Flemeth were but you can see this big black splotch here. That itself marks out where the Darkspawn are coming up. Basically, they're creeping in from the south, and the way they come up is they come up through the ground, they tunnel up from these underground tunnels, and they start then just trying to ransack the entirety of Ferelden. Currently, they're working their way north, and all the people throughout Ferelden, from the south and in the hinterlands, all the rural folk, are forced to move up into the village of Lothering. So basically, right now, the entire village is filled up with refugees simply trying to flee the Darkspawn as it comes up through into Lothering. And that takes its toll on the people and places within the village. And we'll see that as we enter in here.
You there. If you're looking for safe shelter, I'll warn you, there's none to be found.
Ah, look how they moan and wail and gnash their teeth. 'Tis sad to watch how helplessly they scurry about.
Right, so as we walk along, occasionally some of the characters will have some stuff to say to each other, or say some stuff about the world, or just talk to each other. It's just a little bit of banter, so I won't always stop for it, but I am right now because we have such a small area to walk around in, and we might bump into somebody else that will start talking over them. Now, the big culprits for this are Alistair and Morrigan, since their relationship is rocky, to say the least, and we'll see some evidence of why that is in the near future. But also in this village specifically, you can see that bridge in the background. That actually causes dialogue to occur.
Back off. I have the right to charge what I wish.
You profit from their misfortune. I should have the Templars give away everything in your carts.
You wouldn't dare. Any of you step too close to my goods and I'll...
It's so nice to see everyone working together in a crisis. Warms the heart.
Oh, you there. You look able. Would you care to make a tiny profit helping a beleaguered businessman?
I don't understand. What are you talking about? Why would I want to help you?
Didn't I mention profit?
He is charging outlandish prices for things people desperately need. Their blood is filling his pockets.
'Tis only survival of the fittest. All of these cretins would do the same in his shoes, given the chance.
I have limited supplies. The people decide what those supplies are worth to them.
You bought most of your wares from these very people last week. Now they flee for their lives, and you want to talk business?
Look, stranger, I've 100 silvers if you drive this rabble off, starting with that priest. I'm an honest merchant, nothing more.
Well, Morrigan's probably right. If they were in his position, they would probably do the same thing. But still, that doesn't make it right. You don't think you're being a little bit unscrupulous, Mr. Shepherd?
Would it help these folks if they could buy no goods at all?
They spend their very last coin because they are desperate, and this man preys upon them as surely as the bandits outside the city.
Ah, I'm not arguing anymore. Drive off this woman and get your 100 silvers. Otherwise, I'm taking my wagon and leaving.
Listen up. Just lower your prices. It's probably the best thing for you right now, if you get what I'm playing at here.
Maker's breath. Sometimes it's truly not worth operating this far south.
Just charge what you would have before this tragedy.
Fine, yes, just stop complaining. You're giving me a headache.
So, we have come to solve every squabble in the village personally. My, but the Darkspawn will be impressed.
Thank you for your generous assistance. May the Maker watch over your path.
Well, sorry, Morrigan. What was I supposed to do? Jeez. Anyway, that was one of the random events of the game. In a lot of RPGs, especially BioWare games, it'll just kind of throw you into a cutscene and force you to make moral decisions or make some other decisions in the game. But for right now, let's head into the Chantry. I think that would be the best place to get the story rolling for this area. Perhaps we can find safe harbor from both the Darkspawn and the terror it's created in the area.
There's word of Darkspawn stragglers, but no sign of the main horde.
Sir
They are
Donald.
the only hope of protection this village has, and I will not
I beg your
allow-
pardon. I did not see you approach.
Sir Donald? Is that you?
Alistair? By the Maker, how are you? I was certain you were dead.
Oh, that's polite.
Not yet. No thanks to Turn Loghain.
If Arl Eamon were well, he'd set Loghain straight soon enough.
If he were well? What do you mean?
The Arl is stricken with an illness that threatens his life. We have found no cure. Well, he'd set Loghain straight.
When did this happen?
Only a few weeks ago, but he has declined quickly. No one knows the nature of the illness, and even magic has done little to slow its progress. Our only hope now is a miracle. Every knight of Redcliffe has gone in search of the Urn of Sacred Ashes. Andraste's ashes are said to cure any illness, but I fear we are chasing a fable. With each day, my hope dims.
You may have noticed Sir Donald had a bit of an audio glitch there, but hopefully you were able to read the subtitles for what he said. I was hoping to talk to Arl Eamon, actually.
Why is that, if I may ask?
Let's just be out with it. We want to kill Loghain.
I see. The Arl is a popular man, it's true. Tairn Loghain, however, is a hero throughout Ferelden. Whatever the Tairn has done or not done, the Arl remains ill, or worse. That is my primary concern.
Do you think maybe Loghain could be involved with the Arl's illness?
The Arl fell ill before the king died. But what if Loghain planned that too? Oh, such thoughts do not sit well with me.
We should see what's happening in Redcliffe ourselves. I believe that now more than ever.
If nothing else, I am certain you would be welcomed at Castle Redcliffe. The Arlessa is there, and she could tell you more than I could.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm sorry to say, but your friend Sir Henrik, he's been killed in action. I have some of his belongings here.
What? And you have his locket? And a note? Maker's mercy. Thank you for giving me these. I would never have known otherwise.
If it's of any consolation, I did drive out the bandits that killed him. They won't be coming back.
Thank you. I wonder how many of us have met similar fates on this mad quest.
We should probably get going.
With Henrik gone, I need to return to Redcliffe. Perhaps later I will seek out the scholar his note mentions. But I must go. Thank you again, good sir. You have been most helpful.
Alright, so there we heard a little bit about Arl Eamon, which, if you don't know what an Arl is, the political structure in Ferelden is thus. Basically, Queen Honora is the highest, but basically Loghain is acting as the king right now. Then below that is the Tairns that sort of preside over the larger pieces of land, like my character's father was the Tairn of Highever. Then below that rules sort of the sub-pieces of land are the Arls. Then you have the bands that are part of the Banorn that kind of rule alongside the Arls. They're sort of similar in stature, but slightly lower. The actual stature of the bands kind of eludes me. But anyway, Arl Eamon has fallen sick, and there seems to be no way to cure him. There's only the Urn of Sacred Ashes, which people are searching for, and it's the ashes of a martyr of the Andrastian Church. And so that sort of concept will come up in the next episode when we talk to one of the other characters, but specifically we saw that Alistair seemed really upset. And because of this, I would normally go to Redcliffe first when we go to the different areas, but I find Redcliffe Village, in terms of the section of the story there and the combat that we'll have to do, I find it particularly annoying, so I might not go there first. I might wait till I level up a little bit to go there.
Mother, where are you?
I have a wonder, Alistair, if you will indulge me.
Do I have a choice?
Of the two of you that remain, are you not the senior Grey Warden here? I find it curious that you allow another to lead while you follow.
You find that curious, do you?
In fact, you defer to a new recruit. Is this the policy of the Grey Wardens, or simply a personal one?
What do you want to hear? That I prefer to follow? I do.
You sound so very defensive.
Couldn't you crawl into a bush somewhere and die? That would be great, thanks.
Yeah, so in the next episode, we'll talk a little bit about why they don't like each other, but for now... A refuge, eh? Maybe someone here can help us.
So Tairn Loghain is the new regent?
Well, look what we have here, then. I think we've just been blessed.
Uh-oh. Loghain's men. This can't be good.
Didn't we spend all morning asking about a fellow by this very description?
and everyone said they hadn't seen him.
It seems we were lied to.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for trouble. These are no doubt simply more poor souls seeking refuge.
They're more than that. Now stay out of our way, sister. You protect these traitors, you'll get the same as them.
Whoa, just take it easy, man. There's no need for violence. I'm sure we can talk this out. We can be reasonable.
I doubt he would listen. He blindly follows his master's commands.
I am not the blind one. I served at Ostagar, where the Turn saved us from the Grey Warden's treachery. I serve him gladly. Enough talk! Take the Warden into custody. Kill this sister and anyone else that gets in your way.
Right. Let's make this quick.
Oh, it'll be quick, all right.
Right there.
Oh, that looked lethal. This should be interesting.
Right, you've won. We surrender.
Good. They've learned their lesson and we can all stop fighting now.
We can't have them reporting back to Loghain with this. They must be extinguished.
Please wait!
They have surrendered. They were no match for you. Let them be.
Fine. You can live. But as long as you're leaving, take a message to Loghain.
What do you want to tell him?
Tell him this. You'll pay for what you've done. We're coming for you. Have a nice day.
I'll tell him. Right away. Now. Thank you.
I apologize for interfering, but I couldn't just sit by and not help.
I appreciate what you were trying to do there.
I am glad you found it in your heart to offer those men mercy. Let me introduce myself. I am Liliana, one of the lay sisters of the Chantry here in Lothering. Oh, I was.
You can call me Fairtime, if you must.
Those men said you're a Grey Warden. You will be battling the Darkspawn, yes? That is what Grey Wardens do. I know after what happened you will need all the help you can get. That's why I'm coming along.
I'm sorry, you're what? Well, it doesn't matter anyway, because he was mistaken. I'm not actually a Grey Warden.
But... Oh, I see. Of course. Shall we move on, my completely ordinary and unremarkable friend?
Alistair, I don't think she's buying it. Why would you want to follow us anyway?
The Maker told me to.
Oh, the Maker told you to. Right. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna back away slowly.
I know that sounds absolutely insane, but it's true. I had a dream. A vision.
More crazy? I thought we were all full up.
Look at the people here. They are lost in their despair, and this darkness, this chaos, will spread. The Maker doesn't want this. What you do, what you are meant to do, is the Maker's work. Let me help.
Oh, I hope I don't regret this. Wardens never turn away help when it's offered.
Perhaps your skull was cracked worse than Mother thought.
Thank you. I appreciate being given this chance. I will not let you down.
Well, we might as well bring her with us. Sorry, George Costanza.
Indeed.
So, Leliana is a very interesting character. I know I say that about everything, but her character's sort of deceiving in a way. She's one of the most layered out of all of the characters. She's definitely not one-dimensional like some of the other characters might be. You know, maybe they follow their morals a little bit too closely. One of the characters that we're going to get later on isn't as layered as Leliana, but that rears its ugly head in more ways than one, and we'll see some more about her character in the next episode. But this is where I'm actually going to end it this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next episode. Fair time out.